The capital wasteland is a barren, derelict husk. All that's left of Washington DC is its bones. Civilization has ended, and today its remains huddle around open fires between piles of rubble, or, if they're lucky, in the scant few shantytowns propped up by salvaged scraps. This is Megaton, one of the larger local settlements. We're new to the area and have came here for paying work. To hide from dust storms and raiders, the original settlers built this place over the crater left by an undetonated atomic bomb, and it's still there, which is a little bit anxiety-inducing. Most settlements are very wary of outsiders, understandably so, but as a trade hub, Megaton is a bit more relaxed. Getting in only took a quick talk with the sheriff.
So welcome to Megaton. Just holler if you need something.
First stop, the saloon. Living here must really play havoc with your knees. The place is run by Moriarty, an Irishman and the richest man in town. How an Irishman managed to get all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, I have no idea, but if he left Ireland to come here, it must be really bad over there.
A traveller, eh?
We're called over by the woman seated by the door. Oh, and just ignore the strange man in the back. Maybe we'll talk with him some other time.
I don't recognize you. New in town or something? I'm looking for someone to make a delivery. Interested? Great! I'd like you to deliver this message to my family in the Arafu settlement. I haven't heard from them in months, and I'm worried. As soon as you get there, talk to Davis West. He'll be glad to pay you for the trip. Arafu is northwest of Megaton, on an old overpass over the Potomac. If you follow what's left of the river, you can't miss it. Thanks again for doing this for me. It means a lot.
Okay, sounds like a simple enough job. It won't be easy, nothing out here ever is, but the chance of death isn't certain, so that's nice. As she said, Arafu is on an overpass about a kilometre upriver, so the quickest way over there is to keep the river on our right and head northwest. Not far out of town is Springvale, or what's left of it. Once upon a time this would have been an idyllic suburb, but now there is absolutely nothing left. The most standing building is the local school across the road, which is now full of raiders. One of the few things the old world left behind in abundance were drugs, and the means to make them. One look out of any window is enough to explain why drugs became so popular, and out of the wasteland's addiction epidemic came raider culture. Raiders are quite a few shades darker than your typical bandit. They've left empathy and reason behind entirely. They'll do anything to get their next fix, and they love committing acts of extreme violence. This is why we're taking a slight detour. Arafu and its overpass is now in sight, but some raiders have the bridge. What they don't have, though, is good cover. There's nothing more rewarding than a well-executed plan.
Hang on, you're not one of them. I nearly blasted you in two. Get over here before they spot you! Now what the hell are you doing all the way out here? The shit's about to hit the fan in this cesspool, and I don't think I can stop them. At first they do their typical gang bullshit. You know, break stuff and make lots of noise. But they always kept their distance. But this last time they went too far. They killed all of our Brahmin. I mean, that's our lifeblood out here, you know. Look, you can call me crazy if you want, but there is something odd about those creeps. I mean, they got the guns and they got the muscle. Why don't they just bust down our doors and take us out already? We're really in a bad way and could use some help. I think they live somewhere east or northeast of here. Problem is, they always travel in the dark, so I can't see exactly where they go. There's all kinds of places they could be hiding, like Hamilton's Hideaway, the old Moonbeam Cinema, or Northwest Seneca Metro Station. I don't want to take my eyes off the ramp here. There's no telling when the family will return. Can you do me a favor and check on the other people's houses here? You know, make sure they're doing okay?
We're getting paid for delivering a message, not knocking on doors, but it's the right thing to do. First off, the Ewers.
Hello? Is this the mailman? Oh, I do hope my fall catalog has arrived.
What the hell are you doing in here? Get the fuck out!
Next up, Karen.
I'm glad he's checking on us, but until someone nips the problem in the bud, we may as well stay inside forever.
And at the back of the village is our destination, the Wests. Oh. Upon examining one of them, we read the following. The bodies of the Wests have bite marks on the neck area that go to the bone. The lack of bloodstains on the sheets is strange, as any bite or wound of that depth should have caused massive bleeding. The bite marks on the neck appear to be from a human, or humans with shaped incisors or canines. Also, on the wall at the back, the family is scrawled in blood. Let's head back outside and break the bad news to Evan.
The family must have gotten to them in the last attack. Sons of bitches. Wait a minute. When you searched the West's place, did you find their son Ian's body? This has to be the work of the family. I've caught that weirdo leader of theirs talking to Ian down by the river. Look, I know I've asked a lot of you already, but you have to find that kid. He deserves better than all this.
We may not have any leads on where Ian may be, but the places Evan mentioned aren't too far away, so let's get over there and start poking around. This is the Moonbeam Outdoor Cinema. It looks like nobody's spent time here in centuries. Oh well, on to the next place. In this area, where the Potomac should be, is Hamilton's Hideaway. I imagine the place was much more hidden away before the river became dried up and patchy. Hamilton's Hideaway is much more impressive on the inside than it is the outside. It's an expansive bunker adapted from a natural cave system. According to the terminal at its far end, it was built by a prepper before the Great War, and has since seen several visitors, including some unlucky wastelanders, a couple of raiders, lots of disgusting overgrown bugs, and presumably someone called Hamilton. As for the family though, no sign. With nowhere else to head next, it's time we cross the Potomac over to the northern side to get to Northwest Seneca Station. We should be more careful than ever though. If the south side of the river is raider territory, then the north belongs to the super mutants, abominations of humanity and cruel science. Super mutants are huge, strong, ruthless barbarians who hunt humans like we're prey. They're completely fearless and have twice the health of any raider, so we'd best wait until the cover of night and stay on our tiptoes. Here's Northwest Seneca, but before we delve down, let's search the grocery shop on the corner. Fallout 3 is full of little locations like this one. There's no map marker and no narrative reason to ever go in there, but all over are small nooks to explore, should you spot them. There's not really much there, but I don't mind. It's the detail I appreciate. Oh, and if you ever find yourself here too, grab the 2 boxes of sugar bombs behind the counter. You'll find out why very soon.
You're not here to try and steal my secrets, are you?
Wait, what secrets?
The secret of making Ultrajet, obviously. Oh, damn it. Now the cat's out of the bag. Typical me. Ultrajet is almost double the potency of Jet. Perfect for ghouls. Jet barely affects us, you see. Only trouble is it's almost impossible to gather the ingredients together. Say, you might be able to help me with that. It takes 3 things to make Ultrajet. 2 of the ingredients I got plenty of. The other one is a little harder to find. Sugar bombs. For every box of sugar bombs you bring me, I'll pay you 15 caps. So, you in?
If you have a barter skill of at least 40, you can squeeze some more money out of him.
Fine, anything to get what I need. Now scram, I got some preparing to do.
You can't blame me, every bottle cap counts. Murphy won't actually sell us any Ultrajet without handing over 8 boxes of sugar bombs, so we'll have to come back here another time. The place looks like yet another dead end in our search for the family, but at least this time we have someone to question.
They live somewhere east of here. If you're feeling foolish, I think there's an underground way through their place, deeper into the metro station here.
The route Murphy is talking about is actually just in the other room, surrounded by radioactive waste. You'd think that would be a huge hazard for living here, but as ghouls, Murphy and his bodyguard are actually healed by radiation. In some cases where humans became extremely irradiated, their bodies somehow adapted to the radiation, and they survived. Though they look and sound close to death, ghouls are impervious to aging, and you can meet some in the wasteland who've been around since before the bombs fell. Most of those have gone feral by now, unfortunately, but I digress. Let's head down the manhole. We're led down into another cave, this one full of mire lurks. These creatures were mutated from crabs, and though their chitin is hard to break through, their faces aren't. The way out takes us back into another metro tunnel, but to keep the crabs out, the place is absolutely loaded with traps. In the capital wasteland, people love placing down tripwires, mines, baseball pitching machines, the more classic bear traps, meat on a chain, and all other sorts of stuff to keep you away from their territory. But following the trails of traps, we find the place we've been looking for.
Whoa, slow down there. This area's off limits to everyone but the family. Where the hell do you think you're going?
Since we have the letter for Ian, he'll let us through, though we could have found this place without ever picking up the package, in which case you'd need to try to convince him or bribe him to head in.
Yeah, Vance said we should be expecting someone soon. You can head on in, but I would speak to Vance first if I was you. You can find him on the mezzanine overlooking the common area. Just remember, I got my eyes on you. We all do.
Meresti is not what was expected. Your average raider hideout would have a lot less lighting and a lot more mutilated corpses hung up on the walls. This place is very different. The rails and other safety hazards are boarded over, there are nicely partitioned areas like the living quarters and the supply area, and as far as ancient metro stations go, the lighting really isn't so bad. The one questionable aspect though are the benches in the centre. They're a bit reminiscent of church pews. At his podium far above the pews is Vance, the man we need to talk to.
Welcome to our home. My people call me Vance. I lead this group of weary travelers and outcasts who need a home. What you see before you is the last bastion of hope for the downtrodden and misunderstood. It is a sanctuary for the oppressed and a beacon of faith for the tyrannized. We are the remnants of society, cast aside like the clean-picked bones of a hunter's feast. I led my flock beneath the sun-baked sands of the wasteland to keep them safe and teach them my ways. Men of science would call us cannibals, eaters of human flesh. Society labels us as monsters, demons, and the unclean.
If our character is smart enough, they'll catch on to what he's referring to: vampirism.
Ask me if I believe these individuals from every corner of the wasteland need me to give them a sense of purpose and identity. I have shown these people the ways of the vampire. I've provided them shelter, organization, and a sense of belonging.
But vampires aren't real, and let's be honest, this whole settlement feels a bit, cultic. Though, if confronted, Vance admits to this.
In a way, I am brainwashing them. I am eliminating their fears, their inhibitions, and their shame. I have reined in their cravings and taught them to eat not of the flesh, but to drink of the blood. Most importantly, they have a family.
Well, at least we're not in immediate danger. It's time we got back to the task at hand, finding Ian and delivering the letter from his sister.
Ah, yes, my newest charge. What would you want with him? Ian is at a critical moment in his life right now. After all that occurred in Arafu, he is scared and confused. Ian's hunger for flesh overwhelmed him. It drove him to kill his parents. Because of my intervention that night, he stopped just short of being lost forever to his cravings for flesh. Ian lost control because no one was around to guide him. It would be ill-advised for me to allow you to speak to him while he decides what he wants to do.
We're now at a crossroads. There may only be one door between us and Ian, but there are several ways to get it open. The most straightforward method is to just convince Vance that the letter is very important, but this requires a very high speech skill. Vance's wife, Holly, can also be convinced to give us the password if we have a high charisma stat, or the scoundrel perk.
Well, I guess so. You seem like a pretty nice guy.
Next up is Brianna, the local,
I take care of the men around here.
worker, and she'll give it to us, the password, if we have the lady killer perk. We can also talk to Carl about Ian, and if we have the confirmed bachelor perk, we can flirt with him, or with high strength, threaten to kick his ass if he doesn't give us the password.
Finally, someone with some balls around this place.
That is a total of 6 different ways we can manipulate the family into giving us the password. And after checking the wiki, I've found that there are way more, including murder, for there is an immersive way to progress through this quest for almost any playstyle. Fallout 3 doesn't have the many branching paths like the quests of many other RPGs, but it does allow you to properly express your character throughout its storylines, whoever they may be.
What do you want? I'm sure Evan King is pretty pissed right about now. I bet he has the entire town out looking for me. There's something inside me, something completely messed up. I'm a mutant, a fucking freak. The only person I was ever able to talk to was my sister Lucy, and she's gone. No one gives a shit about me except Vance and the family. Can't you understand that?
After telling Ian that you know he killed his parents, we're given a big decision. Should he stay or should he go? Giving him the letter from Lucy will convince him to leave Meresti and take what's left of his old family rather than accept this new one. And if we have a high speech skill, we can get him to do the same without the letter. But we could also tell him to stay. If he really did kill his own parents and is a cannibal, maybe his old life back in Arafu is best left behind. And despite being a cult, the family does seem interested in reforming cannibals into being less dangerous people. On any of the locked terminals throughout Meresti is a message regarding the family's relationship with Arafu, revealing that the harassment of the settlement was done without Vance's permission, and that it's his wish that Meresti remains civilized towards other peoples. Of all the places a cannibal could go to start a new life, the vampires just across the river aren't too bad of a choice. It's a hard decision to make, and even though the game came out in 2008, I've never really made it. But the premise of this video is to deliver the letter, so let's do that.
She really misses being home, and she's asked about me in here a lot. I think I had it all wrong. I shouldn't have come here. I bet Lucy is feeling just as bad as me. Please, tell Vance I've made my decision. I'm going home to Arfu. I hope to see you there as well.
It saddens me to lose one of my flock, but I believe everyone has to follow their own path. All I was attempting to do was guide him. Now it seems that responsibility has fallen upon you.
Well, that's our job done then, but there's still the matter of Arafu. Vance is quick to agree to keep the family from the place, as that was part of his plan anyway, but if our speech or medicine skills are high enough, we can make a suggestion. When we think of a vampire satisfying their craving for blood, we imagine them sucking it from someone's neck, but it doesn't need to be this way.
Many years ago, I survived by drinking from fresh blood packs I recovered from hospital ruins. The problem was that these blood packs were scarce. What do you propose?
On top of Vance's agreement not to harm Arafu, we can suggest one of 3 things. That they give their blood as tribute to the family for continued peace, or that they trade their blood for protection, or that they sell the blood to the family. The third suggestion, which would arguably be the best for Arafu, Vance doesn't like, as they have no money. The first suggestion is extortion, and though Vance would like it, it would be very bad news for Arafu, and would likely damage the family's relations with the outside world further. The exchange of blood for protection, though, is arguably the best decision, though it does make me feel a bit uncomfortable. There's not much stopping it from becoming an extortionate deal in the long term, but surviving in the wasteland is all about compromise. Happy endings are a thing of the old world, not this one.
Agreed. Please, take this proposal to Erafu. I thank you for showing me that your kind can be trusted after all. Goodbye, human. Our time together has been rather educational.
There he is, the hero of the day. I talked to Ian, and he told me everything you did. I don't know how you did it, but goddamn am I glad you walked up that ramp and lent us a hand. Thanks again, kid. Consider yourself welcome back here any time you're in this part of the wastes. It seems they wish to enter into some kind of agreement. I guess it's better than pointing my gun down that ramp all day and hiding inside at night. Let Vance know he's got a deal. We'll do it. I'll speak to the others. I'm sure they'll agree with me.
And that's it. Quest completed. Alan, the member of the family, now gets the house by the side of the overpass. Evan gives us some booze. Ken Ewers offers to repair our gear. Brayley Ewers gives us a freshly baked cookie.
Enjoy.
Karen Shenzi marks some nearby points of interest on our map. That's our next adventure sorted. And Ian is back at the West's family home, albeit solo. So let's go visit Ian and go over everything that happened.
Thanks for setting me straight on everything. I don't even remember it happening. When the hunger takes over, it's like being pushed aside, like something else is controlling me. I can see what's happening, but can't close my eyes. I don't even remember exactly what happened until Vance knocked on the door. That's the weird thing. He has some sort of crazy sixth sense about or something. Maybe all of our kind do. As soon as I was with the family, I really felt at home for the first time in my life. It's like all these people are my real brothers and sisters. Vance told me later that he was basically covering for me and allowing the family to feed at the same time. Since my parents were already dead, they drank their blood and left the mark on the wall. He didn't want Evan to suspect that I had done it. The irony is they were stalking our town to feed anyway. It's almost like Vance knew this would happen.
That poses an interesting question. How did Vance know that Ian was a repressed cannibal? And how was the timing of his arrival so perfect? There is definitely something different about the family, and about Vance in particular. Perhaps Vance gaslit Ian into thinking he was a cannibal, and indirectly got him to kill his own parents. But that doesn't explain how, at Ian's fateful night, the family was outside waiting. Vampires don't exist, right? Our community Discord may be quite new, but we've already reached 50 members. You're all free to join, the link is in the description.